Exercise 2.5. The following relates to Steve's stores. Required. 2.5.1. Open the accounts in the creditors ledger and general ledger with the given balances and totals on the 1st of October 2025. Enter the transactions into the subsidiary journals. Post the transactions that affect creditors to the creditors ledger on a daily basis. Close the subsidiary journals at the end of the month and post them to the general ledger. And then 2.5.4, balance the accounts in the general ledger and compile a creditors list. So information number 1 is your creditors list. You've got 3 creditors: Peter Stores, Carston Merchants, and Mazzoli Supermarkets. Your total for creditors control is 25,680. Then on the 2nd, you've got balance and totals in your general ledger on 1 October for equipment, inventory, bank, creditors control, stationery, and packing material. You can go into all of those balances so long. How will we get this question mark for creditors control? Well, we know our opening balance for creditors control must be the same as the total of the list of the previous month. So 25,680 is your creditors control opening balance on the credit side of your general ledger. Now let's have a look at our transactions. On the 2nd, bought trading stock on credit from Peter Stores, 3,200, renumbered invoice number 23. On the 4th, draw EFT 18 to Carston Merchants for 2,200 Rand as partial payment of the account. On the 6th, bought stationery 1,300 Rand, equipment 7,100 Rand, and stock 4120 on credit from Mazzoli Supermarket. On the 8th, stock to the value of 1430 returned by debit note number 56 to Peter Stores. 10th, load an EFT to Peter Stores to settle our outstanding debt. 14, paid 6,400 Rand via EFT on account to Mazzoli Supermarkets. 16, bought trading stock 78 and stationery 390 from Peter Stores and paid via EFT. 19, bought a new bookshelf for the office on credit from Peter Stores, 1,500 Rand. 21st, returned stationery 1340 and packing material 1230 on credit from Carston Merchants. 25, bought packaging material 570 Rand and inventory 3,500 Rand from Mazzoli Supermarket and made a payment via EFT. On the 27th, loaded the following EFTs to creditors for payments on accounts: Mazzoli Supermarket 1630, Carston Merchants 2270, and Peter Stores 800 Rand. On the 28th, bought equipment from Stoll Stores 4,200 Rand and paid via EFT. On the 29th, received credit purchase invoices from the following creditors: Peter Stores for stock 4,800 Rand and packaging material 1640, Mazzoli Supermarket for inventory 4140 and stationery 2360, Carston Merchants for trading inventory 1675. And then on the 30th, issued debit notes for returns and discounts to the following creditors: to Peter Stores for trading stock 2140 and packing material 500 Rand, to Mazzoli Supermarket for inventory 1620 and stationery 480, and then to Carston Merchants, they forgot to impose a 20% trade discount on the purchase price of the inventory on 29 October. Now what I like to do next is I like to color code all these transactions using 3 different colors, as I'm going to post it to 3 different ledgers. One color for my CPJ, another color for my CJ, and a 3rd color for my CAJ. So let's quickly scan through the transactions. I'm going to use red, and let's quickly see which transactions will be applicable for my CPJ. It will be transaction number 4, 10, 14, 16, 25, 27, and 28. The next journal is my CJ journal. I've used green. Those transactions is the 2nd, the 6th, the 19th, the 24th, the 29th. My last journal will be my CAJ, which I will color code in orange. The dates for my CAJ is the 8th, the 21st, and the 30th. Now that I have color-coded my 3 journals, I can simply go to the answer sheet. It will be in date order, and then I can simply complete it without having to page back and forth the whole time, saving time. So now go to your answer sheet. Let's go and complete our CPJ journal. The transactions for the CPJ was on the 4th, the 10th, the 14th, the 16th, the 25th, the 27th, and the 28th. Remember, when it goes to your CPJ, you always look for a keyword EFT, Electronic Funds Transfer. So that is your source document that you use for your CPJ. So let's read what it says on the 4th. Drew EFT 18 to Carsten Merchants for 2,200 as partial payment of the account. So we know we're going to start with EFT number 18. It's Carsten Merchants. Carsten Merchants is our second creditor. In our bank account, we will have 2,200 Rand, and as well as creditors control, because Carsten Merchants is one of our creditors and we're making a partial payment towards our debt. Then on the 10th, load an EFT to Peter's Stores to settle our outstanding debt. Now that will have a calculation. Just a quickly rough T calculation. Every time you see Peter's Stores before the 10th, let's just quickly see what his balance comes down to, because basically we have to find out what do we owe Peter's Stores up until the 10th. So Peter's Stores opening balance starts with 17,900. Then on the 2nd, we purchased more on credit to the value of 3,200, so our liability will increase. And then on the 8th, we returned stock debit note 56 to the value of 1,430. So the return will decrease our liability. So up until the 10th, our liability owing to Peter's Stores is 19,670. So we're just going to follow through with our previous document number. So now it's going to be number 19. Our details is Peter's Stores. Peter's Stores is creditor 1. 19,670 in bank and 19,670 in creditors control. Then on the 14th, paid 6,400 Rand via EFT on account to Mazuli Supermarkets. So it's number 20. Our details is Mazuli Supermarkets. Mazuli Supermarkets is our third creditor. We are paying 6,400 Rand to our third creditor. So creditors control will be 6,400. Then on the 16th, bought trading stock 7,800 and stationery 390 Rand from Peter's Stores and paid via EFT. So what you need to know is you're going to put the total of those two amounts in bank, but you will split it in the various columns. So it's source document number 21. It's Peter's Stores as the details. Peter's Stores is C1. If we add up 7,800 plus 390, we get 8,190 that goes to bank. 7,800 goes to inventory. And 390 goes to stationery. Then on the 25th, bought packaging material 570 and inventory 3,500 from Mazuli Supermarket and made a payment via EFT. So it's going to be number 22. Our details is Mazuli Supermarkets, which is our third creditor. We will add the two amounts together. So 3.5 plus 570 gives me 4,070 that goes to bank. 3.5 goes to my inventory column. And 570, do I have a column for packaging material? No. So then it goes to my sundry accounts, and my details will be packaging materials, and I know packaging materials goes to N5. Then on the 27th, loaded the following EFTs to creditors for payment on accounts. This time I'm paying all three my creditors something. So we're just going to follow on with our source document. It's number 23, number 24, and number 25. First, making a payment to Mazzoli Supermarkets, which is creditor 3. Then Carsten's Merchants, which is creditor 2. Then Peter's Stores, which is creditor 1. So let's see. On the 27th, Mazzoli Supermarkets 1630 in bank as well as creditors control. Carsten Merchants 2270 in bank as well as in creditors control. And Peter's Stores 800 Rand in bank as well as creditors control. Then our last entry is on the 28th. Bought equipment from Stolz Stores 4,200 Rand and paid via EFT. So it's number 26 is our source document. Our details is Stolz Stores 4,200 in bank. And it is for equipment. We do not have a column for equipment, so it will go to sundries accounts. And our details will be equipment. And equipment goes to B4 of our general ledger. Now the last thing we need to do is to tally up our totals for our different columns, because it's the totals that goes through to our general ledger. So if we add up bank, we get a total of 49,430. Bank is B6 of our general ledger. If we add up creditors control, we get 32,970. And that goes to B9 of our general ledger. If we add up inventory, we get 11,300, and that goes to B5 of our general ledger. If we add up stationery, only had one entry, which is 390 Rand. That goes to N4. And then the total of our sundry accounts is 4770. Remember the rule for sundry accounts? We are going to use the specific date that the entry took place when we recorded in our general ledger. Let's complete the creditors journal. Remember, for your creditors journal, it's your credit purchase invoice, which is your document number, and the dates that we highlighted that will go to our creditors journal is the 2nd, the 6th, the 19th, the 24th, and the 29th. Let's read what it says on the 2nd. Bought trading stock on credit from Peter's Stores, 3,200. Renumber the invoices from number 23. So we know we're going to say number 23. The document number is 23. Details will be Peter's Stores. Peter's Stores is creditor 1. Creditors control will be 3,200. And inventory is 3,200. Then on the 6th, bought stationery 1,300, equipment 7,100, and stock 4,120 on credit from Mazzoli Supermarket. So again, we're going to put the individual amounts in the columns, but we're going to take the total to our creditors control. So it's number 24. It's Mazzoli Supermarkets. It's C3. If we add up all three amounts together, we get a total of 12,520. 4,120 goes to inventory. 1,300 goes to stationery. And we do not have a column for equipment, so then it goes to sundries, 7,100, and equipment is B4. Then on the 19th, bought a new bookshelf for the office on credit from Peter's Stores. Now, a bookshelf is classified as equipment. So it's number 25. It's Peter's Stores. It's C1. 1,500 in your creditors control column and 1,500 in your sundries column, equipment, which is B4. Then on the 24th, bought stationery and packing material on credit from Carstens Merchants. So again, the total goes to your creditors control, 2570. It's number 26. It's Carstens Merchants. 1340 was for stationery, and 1230 was for packaging material. Then on the 29th, received credit purchase invoices from the following creditors. So all three your creditors are buying, we are buying from all three our creditors on account. So let's quickly go enter those entries. So we'll say number 27, number 28, and number 29. First credit purchase is from Peter Stores, creditor 2. Second credit purchase is from Mazuli Supermarkets, creditor 1. Third credit purchase is from Carstens Merchants, which is creditor 2. Okay, let's record the amounts. 6440, so Peter Stores is buying stock and packing material. So we're going to take the total of 6440 to creditors control. 4,800 in my inventory column and 1640 under packing material. Mazuli Supermarkets is also purchasing, we're also purchasing two things from them, inventory and stationery. So inventory is 4140 and stationery is 2360. Add these two amounts together, so 6,500 goes to my creditors control. And then the last credit purchase was from Carstens Merchants. It was only for inventory, so 1650 in creditors control and 1650 in inventory. Now we've come to the end of our CJ. So the only thing we now need to do is tally up our columns because the totals goes to our general journal. So if we add up creditors control, we get 34,405. That goes to B9 of my ledger. If we add up inventory, we get 17,935. That goes to B5 of my ledger. If we add up stationery, we get 5,000. That goes to N4 of my ledger. If we add up packaging material, we get 2870, which goes to N5 of my ledger. And then the total for my sundries account is 8,600. Remember, you will use the specific date, the 6th and the 19th, when we record our equipment account in our general ledger. Our last journal is our creditors allowances journal. When it comes to our creditors allowances journal, we will always issue a duplicate debit note. And the transactions was the 8th, the 21st, and the 30th. So let's read what it says on the 8th. Stock to the value of 1430 returned by debit note number 56 to Peter's Stores. So we're going to start with our source document number 56. Our details is Peter's Stores. Peter's Stores is creditor 1. 1430 in creditors control and 1430 in my inventory column. Then on the 21st, return stationery 400 Rand, equipment 1,100 Rand, and stock 870 Rand to Mazuli Supermarkets. So we're going to say it's number 57. Our details is Mazuli Supermarkets. It's creditor 3. In the total of creditors control, we will add the three amounts together. So 870 plus 400 plus 11 gives me 2370. So the total goes to creditors control, and then we split it in the columns. 870 was for inventory, 400 was for stationery, and then the last amount is equipment. Do we have a column for equipment? No. So 1,100 will go to my sundries, and my details will be equipment, and equipment is B4 of our ledger accounts. Then on the 30th, issued debit notes for returns and discount to the following creditors. Peter Stores for trading stock 2140 and packing material 500. So that will be number 58. It's Peter's Stores, C1. The total will go to creditors control, which is 2640. And then we split it, 2140 under inventory and 500 under packing material. Second entry on the 30th, Mazzoli Supermarket for inventory and stationery. So now we follow on with number 59. It's Mazzoli Supermarkets. It's C3. The total of 2,100 goes to creditors control. Then we split it, 1620 under inventory and 480 under stationery. And then the last entry was Carsten Merchants. We forgot to impose a 20% trade discount on the purchase of inventory on 29 October. So we know it's number 60. It is Carsten Merchants as my details, which is credited to. So now to calculate the trade discount error that was made, you are going to go to the 29th and let's see what was the amount that we purchased on the 29th. From Carsten Merchants, we purchased 1675. So we only forgot to put the discount. So you're going to say 1675 times 20%. That gives us a discount of 335. So we need to go rectify only the discount error. So in creditors control, we're going to have 335 as well as in inventory, because that is what we purchased, 335. Now we have completed our CAJ, so let's add up our totals for each column. Creditors control totals to 8875, that goes to B9. Inventory adds up to 6395, that goes to B5. Stationery adds up to 880, and that goes to N4. Packaging material adds up to 500, that goes to N5, and our sundries is 1,100. Again, just a reminder, in your general ledger, you will use the date of the 21st for this CAJ transaction in your equipment ledger account.